Welcome to Science, Health and Healing, Library of Children's Health Core. I'm Dr. Majid Ali. The subject of this article is Spontaneity of Oxidation in Nature, Part 2. In Part 1 of this program, I explained that in nature, high energy level substances spontaneously lose their energy without any external cues, influences, or programming. And I gave a common example of a high energy level, freshly squeezed vegetable juice becomes stale as it loses its energy in the form of electrons after a day or two of sitting in the kitchen counter. In scientific terminology, it's called oxidation, the process of loss of electron energy. The opposite of it is called reduction, and together oxidation and reduction reactions are called redox reactions, R-E-D-O-X. Now in part 2 of this program, I'm going to focus on what is the clinical significance of spontaneity of oxidation in nature, or lack of high energy to low energy, or lack of order to disorder. Inflammation is nature's way of healing molecular and energetic injury at a level which cannot be seen with a microscope or with a naked eye, and is not associated with any pain. Inflammation, of course, when it becomes excessive, it becomes pathologic. And so I say that I do not know of any disease which is not intensified or worsened by pathologic inflammation. What turns the healing physiologic inflammation to disease-causing pathologic inflammation? Spontaneity of oxidation. So as soon as a cell is injured or a tissue organ is injured, or let's say you sprain your ankle, or let's say you cut your skin while you're doing shave, how do these things happen? When the spontaneity of oxidation lends energy to healing phenomenon, to promote healing, so their spontaneity of oxidation is helpful. But then beyond a certain point, suppose that you fall and there is a piece of dirt which gets buried into the wound in your leg, or a rusty nail, for example, or a clamp left by a surgeon in the abdominal cavity of the patient. I've actually seen that on quite a few occasions, fortunately not these days. In either case, there is excessive oxidation, and as I said, oxidation is spontaneity of oxidation, loss of energy. So regardless of what the triggering point is, whether you have flu, or you have sore throat strep, or you have yeast vaginitis, or you have pneumococcal pneumonia, or you get poisoned with mold toxins, or you become chemicalized and you become chemically sensitive to synthetic compounds. Regardless of what the trigger is, the phenomenon of spontaneity of oxidation will increase the scale of cellular injury, decrease its healing ability, cause disease and worsen it, and of course the end result is death. On the other hand, evolution over 1 billion years, 2 billion years of plus or more, has given us these mechanisms by which we can fight off these incremental tissue injury, loss of energy. And that, of course, would be the phenomenon of healing. So the importance of this concept of spontaneity of oxidation in nature is it explains how every single disease progresses, worsens, and unless arrested, it will cause death, tissue damage and death. This is a very simple model In part 1, I explained to you how spontaneity of oxidation robs energy. Oxygen is the electron thief. Oxygen is what oxidizes fresh fruit, juice, or fresh vegetables. And oxygen is also what turns butter rancid. Now, this rancidity of the butter, which we can see in the kitchen room, actually is also valid for rancidity of your fats in the cell membranes and the matrix and the mitochondria. So when I talk about the grease and detergent model of disease, where I say grease is built on the cell membranes, it's composed of rancid fats, sticky sugars, tangled proteins, molecular waste and molecular debris. And then oxygen comes in, it breaks it up, and oxygen serves as a detergent function. On the surface, I'm talking about contradictory roles of oxygen, but that's exactly true. Nature made oxygen the ultimate Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde of the human biology. Nature also made the process of inflammation also Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Good under certain circumstances, bad under others. I'm going to suggest, if you can, look at both segments, spontaneity of oxidation in nature part 1, and this spontaneity of oxidation in nature part 2. And there's a third program, spontaneity of nature in oxidation part 3, because I think you will be able to make so much more sense into the other materials that I present at Children's Health Corps, a foundation funded by Talat, my wife, and I some years ago, with the explicit mission and vision of providing authentic information untainted by corporate deception to children, parents, grandparents, teachers, and civic-minded individuals. Please forward this YouTube segment to your email, Facebook, Twitter, or LinkedIn contacts to support us. Please visit our website www.kids123.org. 123.org. There's a link on the home page asking actually anyone, how can I help? Click there and we'll give you several specific recommendations how you can join hands with us. Until we meet again, may you be gracious, graceful, and generous in your spirit. Thank you. Thank you so much.